What is up, you guys? This is Mini Superheroes Today. Hey guys, in today's video, we're going down memory lane to take a look at every LEGO Hawkeye minifigure that has ever been released. We've gotten quite a few over the years, but not as many as I think we could have, so let's take a look at them in chronological order and see how the character has evolved in minifig form. The first Hawkeye ever came out in 2012. He appeared in 3 sets from the first wave of Avengers movie sets, and those were the Hulk's Helicarrier Breakout, Loki's Cosmic Cube Chase, and he came in a relatively uncommon polybag that a lot of people don't know about. With that being said, a lot of people dunk on this figure and say it's terrible, but I have a little bit of grace for it. Here's the reason why. A lot of the concept art for the first Avengers movie had Hawkeye wearing these goggles, so, he really doesn't wear those in the movie, but if you flip the head around, you can see he's got an angry head. Now, as the figure kind of evolves throughout this video, you'll see that there's a version that has a smirk on one side with no goggles, and then another side that has goggles with an angry face. So between those two figures, you could get both expressions for the looks you see here. Now, he does have this cool bow. Of course, every Hawkeye is going to come with a bow. He's sleeveless with a really nice torso print that is super accurate to the movie. He's got unique legs that look really good, and I like that the quiver was printed on the back. So it's a pretty nice figure, not the best one of them all, but definitely a good kickoff for Hawkeye. From 2012, the next figure we got was 2015, so quite a jump without any Hawkeye figures available in sets, but this, of course, is the Age of Ultron Hawkeye. And remember what I said with the previous one, we had both that kind of have a muted expression, one with glasses, one without. Then, of course, you could flip it around, and now he's got an angry face with goggles and an angry face without. So it is nice that there's a little bit of variation between the figures. You can see he's got a little bit of back printing, nothing too crazy, but just enough to comment on it, and I love the way that the torso printing travels down to the hips and legs. It makes for a really complete looking figure, and honestly, I think it might be my favorite Hawkeye figure of all time. I think that the facial likeness is probably the most like Jeremy Renner that's ever been offered, and for 2015, I think this figure has stood the test of time exceptionally well. 2015 also gave us the UCS style helicarrier, which came with a couple of these microfig statuette figures, and of course one of them is Hawkeye, so if we flip it around you can see he's got a brown head with a black body and a little bit of printing on the front as well as on the face, and that's quite cool. And that helicarrier actually also came with this Hawkeye, so you got a big one and a little one for your collection, all in one set. The following year, we got the Civil War Hawkeye, but a lot of people missed out on this one. Now, it's not necessarily rare, but it was a little bit difficult to get because it was only available at the LEGO store, LEGO Online, as well as Toys R Us, rest in peace. So a lot of people just missed this because if you only shop at Target or Walmart or your local toy store, this would have never came across your radar. That being said, it's a really nice torso. It's got a little bit of reflective detail in the purple there. It's got the legs that we'd see used on kind of our tactical figures for the next several years. Once again, we've got the quiver printed on the back of the torso, much like the 2012 version, so I always thought that that was a neat little consistency thing. Then if we flip it around, you can see that the head has 2 sides, like an open mouth angry face, and then a little bit more of a smirk. I believe that this head was used on like young Han Solo back in the day, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the head they used. Anyways, this is the last time we'd see Hawkeye with a modern version of the bow. As we watch the figure evolve, you'll see that that changes with the next entry until the end. So since Hawkeye was not in Avengers Infinity War, the next time we got a figure for him was Endgame. And, when the sets came out, everybody was like, oh, we're going to get the quantum suits, everybody's going to match. But now, it's like, man, I really wish we had a Ronin minifig. Unfortunately, as of this video, there is not an official Ronin minifig, so this is the only Endgame Hawkeye we have. And I think I was confused before, because I think this is the young Han Solo head. They're very, very similar if you look at them side by side, but they're not quite the same. What I was thinking is this is the head they used for Steve Rogers, and that's funny because Steve Rogers came in a Civil War set with this same head, so there's 2 people in the same wave of sets that have the exact same head. Anyways, we're talking about the Endgame Hawkeye now. He's got the same quantum suit, torso and legs as every other quantum character. He now has this kind of like classic style bow, so if you compare the 2 bows, you can see one is much more modern in my hand here. And then this one here. So, yeah, he's got a quiver that's actually a piece, because remember, they had the torsos that are all the same for the Quantum figures. So this time, he needed the quiver to be an actual attachment piece. And once again, he's got that young Han Solo head, which you could flip around for an angry face on this side and a more smirk face on the other. And the final Hawkeye ever released as of this video is the 2020 video game version of Hawkeye. Now, once again, he has that kind of classic style bow as opposed to the modern bow that the first several Hawkeyes came with. And overall, it is a pretty nice figure. I think it represents the comics pretty well. And ironically, it kind of told the future, because the torso worked really, really well for Hawkeye from the Disney Plus show, which of course I don't even think was announced when this figure came out. He's got regular black legs, bare arms with black hands. He's got those purple sunglasses that look pretty cool, and the head is reversible for a little more determined, angry face on the back. He's got a quiver piece that's attached, and he's kind of got that sandy blonde hair that's a little bit more comic referential than the MCU versions we've gotten up to this point. So let's zoom out and I'll give you my final thoughts on this Hawkeye collection showcase. Well, guys, be sure to hit like and subscribe down below if you haven't already. This was super fun to put together. I've got more Every Minifigure Ever videos on the channel, as well as more on the way, so be sure to follow along so you don't miss those, and let me know which of these you like best in the comments down below. Well, you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and maybe check out one of my other videos listed here.